I could not believe that a dog with half a bloody leg was still wagging its tail. I've been doing this job for 13 years, never seen that. The call about Robbie came into the hospital one morning when I was actually at home. The hospital manager was on the phone to me saying, we've got a really severe case, we need you to go out. So I jumped in the car, raced to the hospital. Within seconds, I'd transferred myself to the ambulance and off we were going to find out what was going on with this dog. From the video that had been sent through, we could see that he had a really severe injury to his hind limb. It looked as though all of the skin had been degloved off of the back leg, like a pair of tights had come all the way down to his ankle, and he was just kind of walking around and standing on his own skin, and it was just, well, it was pretty grim even for me. Where Robbie's owner lived was essentially a shed. It was a 2-room shed with a dirt floor, no lights, no electricity, kind of a wooden slab for a bed, and 2 dogs in there who, from what I could see, were loved beyond belief. She was just sat on this dirt floor, just stroking both dogs, one hand on each. It was just amazing to see. I knew it was going to be bad from the video we'd received before we got there, but when we got the torch on that injury, I was pretty shocked at how bad that was. Essentially all the way from the top of Robbie's thigh all the way down to his ankle, had no skin whatsoever, and yet this dog was lying there, getting stroked, wagging its tail. The resilience of street dogs in Sri Lanka, roaming dogs, continues to absolutely floor me on the daily. We don't know what happened. There was a little bit of a suggestion that it might have been a wild boar attack. And for him to just be chilling like nothing's happened and just looking up as I come into the room like, yeah, what can I do for you? It was just madness. Time was of the essence in this one, so I really wanted to be able to save Robbie's leg, and in order to do that, I had to reattach that skin whilst it was still viable. Skin dies off very, very quickly if it's not attached to anything, if it doesn't have a vascular supply. It was really important to me that we got Robbie back to the hospital as soon as we possibly can so that I could rush him into surgery. Gave Robbie some stonking pain relief, and then we went to move him to the ambulance. At the same time we went to do that, the heavens opened, absolutely pouring down. So I remember just scooping Robbie up and walking him through this field that leads to the shed, and Chaminda just using the stretcher as an umbrella above my head as I tried to navigate through the field across these 2 wooden planks that were across a stream, all the while trying to protect Robbie's leg from the rain as well, and then popping him in the ambulance, racing him back. Prepping a patient like that for surgery is really, really hard because the most important thing is decontamination. So we don't want any grit, any dust, any gravel in our surgical site. And when you have a dog who's been basically dragging this piece of skin around for 12 hours, that is a highly contaminated field. So even just prepping Robbie for surgery took almost 2 hours. I'm pulling the skin up, I'm seeing how much has actually been lost. There wasn't that much, fortunately, but what happens with skin when it is left for a period of time is it starts to contract down. It's a natural reaction for the skin to just start to curl up and contract. And so to stretch it back into position can be really, really quite tricky if it's been left for a while. I was never going to be able to bring this wound all the way back together. Just wasn't going to be possible, but I was hoping that I could save at least some of this skin. Everything from kind of just below Robbie's knee downwards had some warmth to it, which is a good sign. It had some colour to it. Everything from, mid-shin upwards was kind of black and cold, and I really didn't hold that much hope, but seeing what I see here with street dogs, I shouldn't say miracles because I'm a vet, I'm a scientist, it's not really a thing. However, the stuff I have seen out here is nuts, and so things that animals should not recover from, they recover from. Things that the textbooks would be like, absolutely no bloody way, they're trotting around the garden next week. So I try to always give street dogs a little bit more of a chance. It was about an hour and a half surgery, closing everything up, trying a few little techniques to see if we could increase the blood flow to the area. Every day we were checking, how's it looking, how's it going? And actually, in the end, the wound did break down pretty badly. With Robbie, I actually ultimately came to the conclusion that I was pushing my luck in the start. And I really sat down, listened to my gut. I knew that skin was not viable because of the wound breakdown, because of the level of infection there was going on there. And actually, Robbie was really painful despite pain relief. The decision was made to actually amputate his limb. He was immediately happier. He jumped out of his kennel after the surgery as though nothing had happened. He was wandering around the room. Robbie stayed with us for 10 days, amazing, quick turnaround, and then he got to go home to his owners. I guess I had a lot to learn from this case, honestly. If you don't try, no one else will. You know, it's kind of do or die. And so I'm glad with Robbie that I did give it a crack. I'm just glad that we got to treat him quickly, turn him around quickly, have him all healed up and back with his mum, because she was absolutely thrilled to have him home. It's so nice generally when dogs have owners or guardians in Sri Lanka. It's a really, really nice thing to see the relationship between dog and human. It would be a huge mistake for people to jump to the conclusion that these animals are not loved because they're, you know, sleeping on a dirt floor or they're getting fed rice and curry and not steak for dinner. The love in the relationship between Robbie and his owner was absolutely undeniable. From the second I walked into that shed with no lighting, I could see that she was besotted with him. He was besotted with her. He was just looking to her for reassurance the whole time, like, am I gonna let these people touch me, or what's the situation here? And it was just amazing to see that relationship. All I needed to see was Robbie's face looking at her to know that she cares for him pretty well, you know. He loved her. And so for us to be able to return a dog to a situation like that after treatment and just finish off the story in this magical way, it's so heartwarming for us. We know he's had the best care with us and he's going home to amazing care also. It's incredible. And he's going home to live life as a three-legger, and it will not bother him at all. Thank you so much for watching. If you would like to see more incredible rescues and recoveries like Robbie's, then please do like and subscribe. Every single action you take on this page directly helps us to help more animals in desperate need like Robbie, who have no alternative for veterinary care. So it's super important that you guys do get with the programme, get liking, get subscribing. It is so appreciated. Thank you very, very much.